Well, hi, this is Marnie Swedberg. I am the web hostess of WomenSpeakers.com, and I'm here today with Linda Berry. She's one of our featured speakers, and I'm so excited to introduce you guys to her. Linda, welcome to you.
Well, thank you. It's such an honor and a pleasure to be here and speak with you and all of your listeners.
Well, thank you. And how long have you been with WomenSpeakers.com? Just a guess.
Oh, my goodness. I've been with you probably going on 3 years.
Okay. All right. Great. Yeah. And one of the things that I noticed about you, so somebody had asked me yesterday, how are you picking these speakers? And I'm like, God's just leading me around. I don't really have a plan.
Right. Right. Oh, good.
So, but one of the things that just caught my eye about your speaker profile, and I love so many speaker profiles at womenspeakers.com, but one of the things that I noticed about yours was that you have only one topic, and that's quite unusual. I talked to somebody just earlier this afternoon that had like 12 topics. So how is it that happy from the heart of God became your one primary topic?
Well, you know something, Marnie, it's not something that I really chose. I really feel that I was led by the Lord to speak on this topic because in another life, I worked in the secular environment and literally traveled all over the world. And as you very well know, when you're traveling, it's a very private and it can be a very lonely experience from time to time. So I traveled with my Bible, and I picked up my Bible one night, and I was reading, and I happened to see a verse that talked about being happy, and I thought, well, I wonder how many verses there really are in the Bible that talks about being happy. So as I went through the Bible over the following months and years, I started underlining, and this was about 15 years ago, I started underlining all the scripture in the Bible that had the word happy actually in the text and in the verse. And that was before the days where you could push a button on your phone to find out how many words there are in the Bible that talk about happy. So that's probably why it took such a long time. And when I got through the entire Bible, I realized that there were over 100 verses in the Bible that actually had the word happy in it. And I really didn't know I really didn't have any aspiration to do anything with it. But I was in a group of people, and later in life I became more involved in ministry. I've been a Christian all my life, knew the Lord all my life, but I worked in the secular environment. So as I got older, I started working more in ministry, and I had someone tell me, well, you need to write a book. And I thought, oh no, I'm not, I'm not a writer. I'm a talker. I'm not a writer. And, but anyway, so I thought, well, if I were to write a book, who would I want to publish it? And of course, Zondervan came to mind because they're the largest publisher of scripture in the world. And I thought, well, I had put all this together and I'd kind of formalized it and gave it some structure. And I thought, well, I'll contact them and see if they'd be interested. And lo and behold, they wrote me back and said, yes, that I would qualify for them to print it. And that's how it came about.
That's so beautiful.
It's just a work of love and a work of following the Lord. And so that's kind of how I ended up with How to Be Happy from the Heart of God. And there are actually over 100 verses in the book that actually talk about how to be happy.
So cool. So how does this actually work with planners then? When you have one topic, do they just call and say or contact you and say, we would like you to speak on this one topic? Or do they sometimes say, well, we have a retreat and it's not quite on this. Can you make it work? Or how does it actually work out?
Well, a little bit of both, because when you look at happy, there are so many subcategories to that. Well, am I happy in my faith life? Am I happy in my marriage? Am I happy in my job? Am I happy with my physical appearance? Am I happy with my social network time, my computer time? So happy overlays into every single aspect of our life. And when we look at being happy, exactly what does that mean? Well, for me and in my message, that happiness comes, you're really truly excited 2 times in your life, and that's when you're born and then when you find out why you were born. And if you're carrying out God's purpose in your life, you can't help but know the joy of the Lord, and it does fall into. So yeah, we tweak it. We talk about, like, if a church has a certain goal or something that they're working on, whatever they're working on, they want to have joy in it, and we want to put the joy of the Lord into it. So it works very easily, if that makes any sense at all.
It does. And I was just so curious about it, how that actually works. Because, typically speakers have quite a few topics for planners to choose from. And I think it's just really cool that God just has you focused on this one part of his love for us